From the documentary film, book written by Patricia Alfahide states that documentary film begins in the last years of the 19th century. It has shown that there are different types of documentaries that can be created, such as a trip to exotic lands, a visual poem, or even an artful piece. Most documentary filmmakers consider themselves as storytellers, not journalists. They share their perspective and invest with the viewers, taking them on an emotional journey. A documentary film will tell a story about real life with claims to truthfulness. It is defined and redefined over time, both by makers and viewers. As communication scholar James Carey noted, the reality is a scarce source. Reality is not what is out there, but what we know, understand, and share of what is out there. A documentary is important as it is a reality shaping type of communication because it claims to truth and something worth knowing about. Getting a Grammy, produced by Derek Milton, is about the filmmaker himself that gets caught up in a little white lie. He introduces us behind the scenes of his search to find a physical Grammy. The content in Getting a Grammy and the combination of its style reflects a particular mode that is reflexive. Getting a Grammy provides the content of a storytelling narrative with the main subject about a Grammy Award and conveys a meaningful message throughout the documentary. Derek decided to throw a party to celebrate his fake success about getting a Grammy. His friends then start sending him messages about wanting to see the Grammy. Derek then becomes stuck as he never actually received a Grammy. But he decides to follow through with his lie and sets out on a search for a physical Grammy. To complete his story. This documentary then becomes an entertaining quest filled with favours from friends to fulfill his unreliable narration, and a series of mishaps and setbacks along the way. The documentary serves an admission of guilt, sending a message along the way that the pressure we put under to live the cool lives is exhausting. We all want to live the kind of lives we told our friends back home would live someday. And sometimes it's easier to pretend everything's going okay than to show the world that we're not quite there yet. The film is made up of a mixture of phone screenshots, voiceover, recorded audio, animation, and poorly done Photoshop. It also features lo-fi production values, but it has a handmade texture that makes you feel like you're listening to a good friend telling you about the most ridiculous thing they ever did. A documentary mode is a conceptual scheme developed to distinguish particular traits and conventions of various documentary styles. The modes that best relates to Milton's documentary, Getting a Grammy, is a reflective mode. This focuses on the relationship between the filmmaker and the audience. This mode is similar to participatory, but Milton makes no attempt to explore the outside object. He focuses solely on himself. Milton has created an interactive documentary by connecting the viewer about his personal story with a casual voiceover, supporting it with visual representations of images and short clips. The film serves a hilarious admission of guilt, but also reminds us that filmmaking through many forms is one of the most collaborative art films out there. Derek Milton has created a reflexive documentary by connecting directly to the audience and by communicating a story about real life experience. Thank you.